This one was a little bit harder for me to pick. This one was Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Chito Vera at 135 pounds. Sugar Sean O'Malley, he's ranked 14th. It's a given ranked right now just because he's building a name. He hasn't really beaten anybody yet worth giving him a ranking. Personally, before we even get into all the stuff, Marlon Vera's beaten better competition.
And that Eddie Wineland knockout, though, was pristine. It was so pretty.
Sugar Sean O'Malley's got some cool knockouts.
Yeah, he's got some cool knockouts. Beating an unranked fighter in Eddie Wineland should not give you a top 15 ranking.
No, yeah. I don't think he should be. He's ranked right above Merab Dvalishvili, who's ranked 15th.
Yeah.
And Dvalishvili's fought much higher level of competition. Now, I like Sugar Sean O'Malley. I'm a fan of his.
Same.
I love the personality and love all that stuff. Before we get into like the actual fight details, we
got to be real though. I like Sean O'Malley too. I'm a fan. You like Sean O'Malley too. You're a fan. So what we say is just probably us being real when we get into it.
Yeah. So Sean O'Malley, he's an American. He's 12-0, 25 years old, 5 feet 11 inches tall, 4-0 in the UFC, not including his first round win, knockout win on Dana White's Contender Series, which, if you want to talk about a weakness that we saw a weakness there on Dana White's Contender Series when it comes to grappling. He was able to get back to his feet and knock this dude out with a beautiful look, throw a punch, knock him out, and it was nice. Like you said, coming off that first round knockout to Eddie Wineland. Going against Marlon Vera from Ecuador, Marlon Vera's 17-6. 17-6-1. He's 27 years old, 5 feet 8 inches tall. He's 9-5 in the UFC, 5-1 in his last 6 fights. Coming off of a decision loss to Yadong Song.
It was a fight of the night, by the way.
Fight of the night.
It did win fight of the night bonus.
He knocked out Nolan Hernandez, and then he submitted Andre Ewell as well.
Yeah.
And then he also has that submission win over Guido Canetti.
Knocked out Frankie Sainz.
So, yeah, I mean, you look at the competition level, he's definitely got good competition there. He competed on Tough Latin America, where he won his first fight. And then he was ultimately pulled off of the show because he had a skin infection. That skin infection prevented him from being able to finish the show. He does have the black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He has 7 submission wins, 5 knockouts, and 3 decisions.
Sean O'Malley's riding a hype train right now.
Yeah.
And his rise is almost similar to Conor McGregor's.
Yeah, I mean...
It's almost similar to the way he's building his popularity. He's knocking people out.
Well, I think it's a little bit different. I think what he brings to it... I think it's a little bit different because I think what he brings to it is he brings the youth and the freshness of the younger generation. Like, he's doing a really good job of tapping into that audience. The way he's utilizing social media, the videos he's putting out there, the way he's breaking down his fights afterwards, and the things that he's really doing as far as his personality, his look, and his appearance. He's really trying to tap into that younger generation. And, let's be real here. That's the biggest consumer market. If you want people to start becoming fans of yours for life, get them when they're young. Make them fans for life. And the way that Sugar Sean O'Malley's done it is he's made himself fresh and young to those guys. Conor McGregor had a very meteoric rise. And Sean O'Malley is having, as far as, this is the comparison I think you're talking about, the rise and how they're doing it.
Just the way in the UFC, the way that they're being promoted, the way that they're being pushed.
And then the way that they're keeping them away from wrestlers.
The way that they're trying to avoid grapplers with them. They're giving them, these fights that they can win. So, I mean, it's just one of those things.
This is his big test, though. But you also have to look, Conor McGregor, when we were looking at his record early on, you could say that. But then you look at a lot of those guys that he beat on the way to that title fight, to those title fights, those guys are all fighting for titles now.
Yeah. Max Holloway was the champ at 145.
Diamond Poirier.
People were considering Max the GOAT during his run, which is weird. I guess you could say it's probably warranted given, how many times he defended it, and Conor never defended it. But Dustin Poirier, who's been on the fringe of the 155 title there.
And he beat these guys before they ever even got to the title spot or title shot.
DP is a grappler. I mean, he likes to stand and bang, but he can grapple.
He's he's not really a grappler. He's a striker who knows how to grapple. We'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a black belt.
So, yeah.
And it's not like a fake black belt.
Black belts, though, like, just because you have it doesn't mean you can use it in a fight.
So, but either way, when we get back to Sean O'Malley, that knockout of Eddie Wineland was so pretty because he set it up with the feint right uppercut, feinted his left, and then just came right over the top of the right and just... Yeah. Nobody's ever knocked Eddie Wineland out like that. Eddie Wineland has some TKO losses, but he's never been put to sleep like that.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It was beautiful.
It was phenomenal. Now, one thing I don't think a lot of people know about Sean is he does have a purple belt in BJJ.
Yep.
And I think, so he shows he's still working a little bit on the ground.
Well, he has 2 submission wins on his record as well.
He also has, you have to go back to his amateur days for this. His only 2 losses in his entire MMA career, amateur and pros, were submission losses.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's just something to note. Now, this, I think we both agree, is probably the toughest test that he's fought in the UFC so far.
Yeah.
So, Marlon Vera, he's an extremely well-rounded fighter. Very
well-rounded.
He can go to the ground.
And he's a super exciting fighter.
He is.
He's a high-pressure fighter,
and he has one hell of a chin. He's never been knocked out. All of his losses he's never been finished. All of his losses have come by decision.
Yeah. So this fight right here, I'm just going to throw this out there before you even announce it. Fight of the night, right here. Fight of the night.
We'll give him the fight of the night alert.
I'm telling you, and if you don't have it, I mean, you're crazy. You look at Sean O'Malley, the last 3 fights that he's been in, he's either won a Performance of the Night or a Fight of the Night award. He comes out to put on a show.
I think we're going to get a Performance of the Night for sure.
Marlon Vera, similar. He comes out winning awards for Fight of the Nights and for Performance of the Nights because he goes out there, he's a high-action fighter. This fight right here it
has all the makings for it.
It's got to be,
And Vera is a BJJ black belt. So like I was trying to say, he's extremely well-rounded. And he just went to a Fight of the Night and a decision loss to Yadong Song.
Oh, did you just hear that? Fight of the Night?
Yeah. Who, by the way, in my opinion, is a better prospect than Sean O'Malley. Yadong Song's only 22 years old, and he is looking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And his experience, I think he already has like 30-something fights, and he's only 22 years old. Something close. I don't remember his record, but he's got a pretty crazy thing. But I do like Yadong Song a lot.
Oh yeah.
So when it comes to it, it was a really, really hard fight for me to pick because I think the odds are absolutely insane. They've got Sean O'Malley as a -330 favorite and Marlon Vera as a +260 favorite. That's asinine.
I might be throwing some money on that one.
I would throw money on that one if I was a gambling man, but I don't bet.
Regardless of what my pick is, I might throw money on
that. Marlon Vera at +260 is ridiculous. Yep. This fight is so much closer than that. And honestly, I feel like Vera should probably even be favored in this fight.
I think Marlon Vera should definitely be the favorite in this fight. I think that he's done more in the UFC to warrant it.
He's fought better competition throughout his career.
Yeah, the ranking of number 14 is probably what's swaying it in the popularity.
Yeah.
It's like we talked about with that popularity. A lot of people know who Sugar Sean O'Malley is. And while Marlon Vera has been around for a while, there's not a lot of people outside of the real hardcores that know who he is. He doesn't have that face that you can just see on the street and people are like, oh, I remember you, I know you. Whereas Sean O'Malley's got his YouTube social media going on. He's got his MMA. He's got his Instagram. He's got all this other stuff that's really blowing up.
He's got a business now that he's started a clothing line. So.
And, people know him outside of fighting already.
Yeah.
Plus, he's making himself a big name in the weed business, too.
Yeah, so it's
in the weed industry. I don't know about business, but...
Like I said, so this fight was extremely difficult to pick because I really, really like Sean. I like, the hype behind him. I like a lot of the things that he's doing. He's doing it right. This is his toughest test. Yeah. And I think Marlon Vera is the better fighter. So for me, I'm going to make an unpopular pick here because, like I said, I think Vera should be favored.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
I think he should be. And I actually think he's going to win this fight.
I would say based off of what Vera's done, he should definitely be the favorite. I just like the way that Sean O'Malley strikes.
His striking's super fun.
His striking is very accurate.
Yeah.
The thing that he's got to worry about, though, is he has a huge hole on his ground game.
Not only that, if you look at his legs, Vera throws these really strong leg kicks. Sean's got real long, lanky legs, and he kind of gets that karate stance going sometimes where he has his left leg forward.
Really far forward.
Vera's going to eat that alive.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out ultimately. What's cool about this is, so every once in a while in a fighter's career, there's a big test put in front of him. Mm-hmm. You just had that with Edmund Shabazian.
Yep.
He just had his big test put in front of him. He failed. Ricky Simone had that with Uriah Faber. He failed.
Yeah, and I think that one was mostly due to nerves.
Nerves. Now, right now, with Sean O'Malley, we have that versus Marlon Vera. Mm-hmm. So, will he be one of the guys that rises to the occasion?
Will the cream rise to the top?
It's not butter.
You don't know the that reference, do you?
No.
That's the Macho Man Randy Savage. Fuck. Oh, yeah. During one of his, I think it was a WCW promo, one of his early day promos.
When he was really high on cocaine?
Probably.
Anyway, so I'm sticking with the striking for Sean O'Malley, and I think he's going to get the knockout in round 2.
See, I just don't see the knockout coming. Yadong Song hits hard, and Vera ate some very hard shots from Song. You know, Vera's never been knocked out, and Yadong has hit him hard. He's eaten some hard shots from other fighters too, but Yadong hits hard, and he couldn't knock out Vera.
Yeah.
So I just don't know that Sean O'Malley's going to be able to knock out Vera, and I think that Vera's going to eat that leg apart in the first round, probably a little bit in the second round too, and I think eventually Vera's going to want to get this down. I think he does get this down. I think he's going to surprise people with it.
I think that that's the way to go.
I think you're going to see Marlon Vera with a round 2 submission.
Perfect. Well, let's see what happens there. I do know that O'Malley says he's been working on his ground game quite a bit, and he's excited to show it off.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who say that, and then you see them out there, or they say they're working on their weakness, and then they come out there, and it's not really much better than they thought.
Maybe they are working on it, but when you face a guy that's been doing it forever,
it's different.
it's not the same.
It's just different. Yeah.